Here we are, we're back with episode 16 of The Pit. This is our first episode since after Boston. Unfortunately, I've had COVID myself. A guest fell through, but today we have got one better. We've got a man that ticks 2 boxes as well for 2 episodes we want, so I'm super excited for this. We have got Niall, who is now the Noctem Esports Challenger player for the 2023 season. This man is fresh off a top 16 placement at the Boston event. He was teaming with Chunk, Keza and Twisted under Revive for those of you that don't know. But how are we, Niall?
I mean, I'm doing okay. A bit nervous about doing this because, like I said before we started, it's a format of content I've never actually actively engaged with before. So, I mean, just a bit new.
Something new.
Don't really know what to expect, but you know, it shouldn't be too hard to answer questions in my bedroom. So it's one of them ones.
Hey, it's just one of them. You're in a normal habitat talking about something that you do all the time. So we'll see how it goes. But I say the overview for this is a Boston recap, and then obviously your move to Noctem. I mean, you've had a busy few weeks, but before we go forward, I want to go back a little bit to Boston and segment 1. We've got the revived HQ matches because I felt like your team at that event was probably like one of the wildest journeys I've seen. Like every game, you just kept gaining more people behind your station. Like each series seemed to get more crazy. But we'll start with the first one, right? Let's run through it. Let's see how good your memory is. Winners round 1, you played Team Blink and won 2-0. Do you remember anything about that series?
My controller wasn't overclockable for about half an hour before we played it. But that was when there was a lot of like, it was literally pandemonium in the event because they couldn't overclock controllers. Certain admins were helping people, certain admins weren't. I mean, luckily, our round 1 was weird because we went and set up on our station that you normally do at an event, and we were sat there for 15-20 minutes, and normally there's one admin per station, and we had a guy that I've had before at different events, and he was admin the station next to us, and he looked over to me, and I looked at him, like we kind of saw he saw me like looking at him, staring at him, and I was like expecting him to be our admin as well, doing both stations at once, but he told me that we should have had someone completely different do our station that never appeared like throughout the whole game match or whatever. So he did it, but he was thankfully okay, and he actually helped me like overcome my controller and that. So it was just a weird streak. We kind of like sat there for like 20 minutes doing nothing because no admin showed up to do vetoes or like talk to any of the teams. You didn't even like. I mean, the people that were sat across from us could have been technically just random people from anywhere. So it was a bit odd, but that was the only thing I can remember from the first game because it was like we were semi-decently seeded for that event, so
it was
played a really low seed.
A weird start as well, right? Because was it an hour delay? We had a 2-hour delay.
It was longer. I think it was like 2 hours delayed for the tech issues because they were saying stuff like they couldn't start to fix stations until the bracket was live, and there was bracket issues with Faceit, so they had to use Google Forms, and they were doing a lot of stuff. So I mean, they were a bit. I think they were a bit like on the go, like just doing stuff as it came. So I mean, no idea what really happened, but I mean, thankfully we got through that round pretty fast, but then we had to wait for 7 years into the next one. So
yeah, and I mean, you had Decimate Brigade winners round 2, which is actually Copy Junior, who has been labelled my son. I didn't realise you played them. I think I allowed to play in the same time, but you beat them 2-0 as well. Was that any more difficult?
I think that was a closer game, but that's the problem with these events. Like, one, like it's hard to find out who you're playing against. It's a bit easier on Faceit, I think, because you can click on people's teams and see like the list of players, but you only get their Faceit names and stuff. But when you set up against someone and you load into a game, it's just challenger IDs, which is a bit. I mean, I don't like that because you can't count names as easily and stuff like that. But it's just a bit awkward because you don't know who plays well. Like, even if you stood behind people watching, like, unless you know who that person is, like, unless you know who I am, for example, or that's Niall playing, and then like I play really good or really bad, you have no idea, like. Or you just know, that guy, that tall guy in the jumper, played good there. Like, you have no idea who that actually even is. You go over to the screen, and it just says Challenger 34, and it's like, well, okay, the next person that sits down there could be anyone that someone that you could know, and it's just going to say the same thing. So it's a bit weird. I think we had a close like skid row, and then we won a S&D like another close one, like 6-4 or something maybe. But the early rounds are a bit weird because 6-hour wait times and stuff, so it's a bit
a long wait time.
They can be a bit shaky because I've seen people lose them, and I have lost them myself in the past. Like a best of 3 that you should never lose to people because, I mean, especially with the way hardpoint is on these recent games. But yeah, I don't think it was anything spectacular that game.
That happened, and like even winners round 1, I think Team Moore and Noctem, like they were playing next to each other, and like winners round 1 or 2, I can't remember which one, but either way, I think it was winners round 1. Like the S&Ds were so close against these NA teams, and I feel like the NA play style on S&D that tournament was so different to the EU, and like it was so
I mean,
slow. It was
that's normally
passionate.
the case. It's
Yeah,
normally the case. I mean, it's just like playing in any teams can be a bit awkward as well, like, especially the first few rounds, because as a European, you've got to travel a lot more. Like
yeah,
there's like 2 days basically travel time. Where like as an American, you just go on the Thursday and you play the next day. Go to sleep, wake up, play the next day. So it's like it's a bit different that way. But I mean, some of the people that I've lost to, I should never have lost to in the best. Like if you play them in the best of five, and if you went 2-0 down, you'd probably beat them. But it's just like that's just the nature of the tournament. So you
no,
can't really sit there and say that. But and then I mean, the schedules of the tournaments is another topic completely as well. So
yeah, could go all day. But then, so the last one of the Saturday. Wait, did you play your winners round 3 on the Saturday, or did you play it
yeah,
on the Sunday?
we luckily played
Yeah,
pretty quick. What I say
it
quick, it
was
was like 3 or 4 hours when we
Yeah.
played against Banson, and then that was another best of three, which is a classic. But
How close was that?
the map one was about 70, 80 points, and then the map two was just a slamming. But I mean, we were playing like Twisted. That was his first event. He's never experienced fucking wait times like that. Like that
No.
was. I mean, even as someone that's been to a lot of events, that was like one of the rare long wait times I've never played. We played 3 games that day, and both games we had a massive gap between each one. So I've never played.
Huge.
Normally it's like you might have a massive wait, and then you play like 1 or 2 games, or you have a really long wait, and then you have like a smaller wait and play your second game or something like that. But that was a long day between every game. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
so maybe we just run out of energy. Who knows? But I mean, they are obviously were like the top 2 teams in Europe. So
Yeah.
one of them games where it's like you're not expected to win. I mean, I wish we played a bit better and played a bit closer, but considering the circumstances, wait times, and everything, and even our practice going into it, I mean, can't be too upset. We have to just focus on the next day, so I didn't really dwell on it that much.
No. So you got through to the Saturday, and then LR4, which was what was it, 9:30 in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, or something.
Ours was quite delayed again. So we
Did
got
you?
there at like we were supposed to get there for what 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that was the first game, but they were still playing like some winners round 3 games and some other crap. So I think we didn't play till like 11:30 that day.
Oh.
That second day, lose round 4. We were waiting a while because they played. I'm not sure how they did the bracket, but they were going like top down, and we were at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then obviously like the games that had been delayed from yesterday were getting caught up, so we waited a long time again. But after that, we basically sat down and played the whole day.
Yeah, because you got there, I think, the same time I did. Because I remember seeing you pull up outside. It's like 9 o'clock. Well,
Yeah,
I didn't
because
know.
we were getting told to go at a certain time. Like I mean, obviously forfeit timers are obviously a thing. So I mean, it's better to be there just ready to play anyway. So
No, 100%. I mean, and well, there was some LR3 and LR4 matches going on straight away. So the fact you had to wait, you must have literally been in the last heat of LR4. So that's
yeah,
crazy.
we were sat spectating. There's a video of me and Vin behind people because one of the games we were watching, some guy put his controller down when they went to 249 points, and then he died, and then they lost, and it was some drama. But
It
yeah,
was a
we
crazy
had to wait a
event.
while.
But yeah, LR4. So it was best of 5. Then you beat Temper GG 3-1. You said the game started at half 11, which is crazy. But yeah, how was that one? Obviously, after such a long wait in the morning.
I don't really remember that one at all.
So quick and
I
easy,
don't
by the sounds
I
of
don't
it.
even know who. I can't remember who was even on the team. You even have a roster name for that, like the list for the players for that team.
Not to hand, just Temper GG. So I don't know, because they'd have been fresh off a game as well, which is why I was intrigued about that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I remember we were watching games go down, and we were watching like I think that's who we were watching. We were watching like them, and then the game that I was on about before with the mad comeback was like next to them, and then they got off their station. I was expecting us to get on their station and play them straight away, and we didn't. They got up and walked away, and we had to wait for another hour and a half. So I can't remember who we even played, unfortunately.
Bonkers. Well, we'll get into LR5 then, because this really does start to get interesting now. You went and played NGNL Black, who nearly knocked out Boston Academy the day before. I remember it was like the last game of the day on the Friday.
Yeah.
And like it went map 3. They had defense on round 5, control high rise. They somehow fumbled it with 2 streaks in their back pocket. And yeah, you played them LR5, and I remember looking at that and I was like, fuck, this is going to be a hard one.
Yeah, that's the game I remember playing from this point. Yeah,
Yeah.
like we had quite a close game. I mean, I got quite upset with my team, not like in a really like bad way, but I was just like we made the game way harder than we needed to. Like we won map 1 quite easily. We got slammed map 2. I can't even remember what map it was. I think it might have been Terminal or Karachi. And then we won a control quite easily, like the third map, and then the fourth map. That was the map that I think we like trolled it, Karachi hard point, and we just I don't know. one of the maps where it's like people were playing well, getting their kills, but we just never felt like we were in control of the game, and then we just lost it, and it was just a really annoying one. Where it's like, and then we went to map 5, and it wasn't even close. Like we played a high-rise S&D, and like they kept falling off the map and that, so I must have been nervous or something. But it wasn't even like a close one. Kian, like Keza went absolutely mad. Like I think he spun on some guy, got like a 1v2, and me and him did like a 2v3. It was just like all the rounds we were just winning everything. So
I stop.
it wasn't even that close of a game. But like that's what annoyed me so much. I think because of how easy the last map was, and the fourth map was just
Yeah,
should have just been done there. But
it happens, right?
I mean, that's the way it goes.
NGNL Black, they're not going to enjoy High Rise then after losing to you on it map 5 and Boston Academy map 3 on the Friday. Well, but losers round 6, right? You're making the run at this stage, and like I think you can agree. Like as I said, every single game you have more and more people behind your station. Like you're probably one of the most watched teams on that Saturday. You went map 5 again in one of the most craziest fashions I've ever seen on LAN. It was a full sale comeback map 5. Yeah. You were 5-0 down.
With a restart in the middle of it as well. Yeah, that was pretty bad. I mean, I would have been so upset if we'd have lost because of that restart. Because when we went 5-0 down, and then after that point, I don't think I died, even after the game got restarted. So we were like, I was on a 3-4 streak.
Yeah.
Chunk was on a 3 or 4 streak, and like he probably would have got his streak as well. So like, what happened was we went, what was it, 5-3? We were 5-3 down. Like we won 3 rounds in a row. We're on defense, and then we started the round normally. We played out the rounds, got first blood, and then we killed. Basically, just had like I think we had a clean round, like 4 kills, no deaths. And then the game just got ended out of nowhere. Obviously, we're just mind blown. I mean, trophies and that are quite important on S&D, like Karachi and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then they were basically saying like the admin came over and spoke to us. It was someone that wasn't even our ref, and he was like, "Oh well, he couldn't move at the start of the game, but obviously he moved eventually because we killed him like normal. We didn't kill him like AFK, so obviously we had no idea." Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. And the restart of the game, they gave us that round back, so we had to restart again. It was on defense with no like streak progression and no trophies, and we won the round again. We won every round basically, so we won 7-5, which is strange, and it would have been. It's quite funny to say that, oh yeah, we won 7 rounds in a row, so it was even better. But it's like if we'd have lost that 6-5 or something without streaks, it would have been. I mean, that'd have been one of the worst losses I think would have had, because I've had some admin decisions cost me in the past, and that'd have been one of them. That'd have been really bad. So, I mean, luckily we won. So
yeah, that was a rogue one. But luckily, like, I don't know if you like lads clocked in game, but like they were so nervous, like they were like visually sweating at 5-3 after that restart. They were visually in panic, and like they were them last 2 rounds. They looked like freebies from like spectating it. Like, did you clock in game? Was there like a stage where you said to lads, "You're like, we're winning this, like they're shitting it"?
not really, because we were a bit. I mean, lackluster at that map. We got 6-1 by like Zinx in the round before. Oh, and that was the second map, and then we just got slammed by him. So it's like, if anything, I was like more upset that we had to go to map 5 to play him, because they're the one where we should have probably won 2 hard points. Or I think, maybe not. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's just one of them ones where you kind of want to close out in 4, but
yeah,
because our S&D was a bit hit and miss. But I mean, we luckily just clutched up. I mean, like if anything, I was just more annoyed the fact that the round got ended, because, like I said, we were on streaks and stuff. So you don't really think about the score. I mean, especially in the loser bracket there, you just got to keep playing until the game's finished. So you still got to try. But I mean, if anything, it just made us play more risky. We went like 5-0 down. Nothing was working, so we just started doing like mid-map hits and stuff. But I'm not sure like why they didn't do the same back. Like, I mean, you're 5-0 up, just start spinning the wheel a bit, take a bit of a risk, and just try and like just jam it in, basically.
It was a breakdown on the other side of that station, but yeah, and then we saw like the viral clip of like Chunks like standing there screaming, "Fat ass!" But like, so apparently, like the backstory of that Chunk said was that he was actually like the kid said the same to him during the series. Was that the case? Yeah.
No, not during that series. I think in Toronto last year.
Ah.
I think he got beat by Shoxy, one of the people on the other team, and then he said the same thing, like, or something similar, like on mid game he got screamed at, and then he got said like shit on fat ass or something. He says it all the time, like it's like a meme, but and that's where it's from. It's from, I think he got it screamed at him, and then obviously no one knows that, and then on Twitter some guy was like basically saying that Chunks another fat guy calling people fat, like what's going on, like all that, like just like completely just outrageous. But
came into it as
I mean,
wild.
Chung got told off for saying it as well because
I know, yeah, it's
it's like a
crazy.
it's like a personal insult, I guess, which it makes sense. And it didn't get like nothing came of it, but
No.
they just give him a warning, basically saying don't say stuff like that. So
It,
I mean, I've heard a lot worse.
oh,
But
100%. But like you said, like they were really enforcing that rule of like nothing personal, which it should be. But like on the other side of things, like there was, I think it was at the top station on Saturday. They were screaming at each other. Like it sounded like a
I think
fight
that's the
was going to
problem.
break out.
That's the problem with the events. I think, to be honest, is just the fact that consistency across the board is pretty
Nail on the head.
lackluster.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I mean, same with the admins and the tech and the hardware issues and all sorts of stuff. Is just like one admin, like he might have experienced. Like I said, I've seen one admin at a lot of the events, and we had him on the first station, and it's like he knows what he's doing. He knows, I mean, he knows how the game works. He knows how the rules are supposed to work. He
Yeah.
knows how the controller overclocking thing works. He knows like if there's an issue with BattleNet or game or anything like that. He just like he's aware of it. But some of the admins are just completely. I mean, they're basically just TikTok admins. They just go there and they just stand there and they just. I mean, basically you tell them what to do and they just do it, which is like.
Yeah. That was the case
I
for some of them. She was like, "I've never done this before. I honestly have no idea." And like, luckily, she had
mean,
us. So they
I've
were
had it
like,
before where I've had to go around the other side of the station, do stuff like on people's computers for them,
yeah.
just to speed up the fucking process because like you don't want to sit there forever. So, but
It's,
I mean, it shouldn't be like that. And I mean, even then, like I think the problem is the fact that the people that are like their managers or the admin head man, they must not be like available or I don't know, but it's a bit frustrating, especially as like someone that goes like to events from England. Like you got to travel so far, and you're playing a best of three, and an admin hasn't got a clue, and it's like that stuff can actually cost you games. Like I said, that game got ended maybe prematurely. Who knows? So
no, 100%.
that
It's
could,
frustrating.
that's obviously people have had like games lost and won because of that stuff. So pretty frustrating.
No, I completely agree. And now, I mean, we've got one more match that you're going to know of. And again, like, it was a movie again. LR7, you play against 5 Media Clan. You lost 3-0. But, I mean, where do we
Yeah.
even start with that? I mean, you could have won the series 3-0 and then, like, the map 3. I don't know if you want to tell the story, but I don't think you can make it up.
I don't really remember what happened on that, to be honest.
No?
Although
Map 2,
I
sorry,
remember,
map 2, map 2. The
on map 2,
S&D,
yeah.
yeah. Which
I
was
mean,
the tilter, right?
it's just, I mean, I don't know what even really happened, but it's like I don't even know if it even like
Oh,
if
it
it
did. It
even
happened.
if it was like I don't even know if it even like cost anything or like I don't know because like I spoke to Super about it after the game and he said that the guy that was like he was like someone's dad and he has no idea, but who knows? Like
No.
I mean, he was just stood behind our team and Twisted said it. He said it that he was like convinced basically that something happened, but I mean we lost the 6-5 and he was on the bomb and then like he's convinced that someone basically made a signal, or something, but I'm not sure. Like I don't really know, and that's
Yeah.
like one of them things where it's like even if it did happen, like you can't really prove it. So it's like I think the guy got asked to just move from behind our station basically and just go watch from somewhere else. Which I mean, that's the best you can do as an admin. You can't unless someone's there like watching it, like recording it and sees it like plain
No.
daylight. That it's just I don't know. Like I don't even know if I can't really feel bad about it because we should have won a lot of rounds in that S&D. I mean, we should have probably won map 1 as well if we like our practice going into the event wasn't that great, and it's like we weren't as well drilled as we should have been. People weren't like new spawns and stuff. We weren't as like on top of stuff. So like in my mind, we should have won that map 1 like really easily, and we were making a lot of like stupid mistakes. Like we lost a lot of easy points on certain hills. That's all I remember from that series really. And then the S&D we should have won. I think like 2 or 3 extra rounds,
Yeah.
like quite easily. Like they were close ones that we should have just won. So it should have been like you said, we could have easily been 2-0 up.
I
But
think you should
yeah,
have, to be honest. I think, if I'm being brutally honest, you should have. And like your hard point was probably one of the best from the European teams at that event, from what I personally saw. And the S&D, like, so you after you lads lost, obviously, like you naturally went out the venue. What you lot didn't realize is that literally so you know the entire like admin table at the front, they
yeah.
had the 3 big people came over to the station, and literally there must have been the 10 people that vouched that the bloke did it, and then he wasn't allowed behind any of the other people's stations. So like,
Yeah, I mean, like when I after the game ended, yeah, it was like one of them like ominous like I stood up or whatever, I was packing up, and then Dean was like, "Oh yeah, that was him over there." He pointed towards him, and
yeah,
he's like stood there, and he stood there leaning against this bar thing, and he had like a backlight. He was like lit up, like he looked like he was in a film, like he was the devil or something, mate. Like just, I was mind blown. I was
you,
like, "What's in there? The one with the ominous lighting behind him looks like a villain." Like, oh yeah, he was stood behind us or something. I swear he said something like, but. I mean, I asked Super about it, and he said that the guy doesn't even know S&D, but I mean,
yeah.
who the fuck knows? Like,
Uh,
it's one of them things. It's like,
you
I mean, I
don't
never
know.
saw it. I never saw it. I never accused anyone. So it's like it's hard for me to be like, yeah, we got costed so bad. Like in my mind, I was thinking like, how the fuck have we lost this map? Like we should have won this 6-2.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's like the map one. I was like, well, we should have won that so fucking easy. If like I said, I practiced like. I mean, we just like stagnated a bit like before the event. So it's like we should have been so much like cleaner on hard point. Like terminal was obviously changed like a week, like 3 days before, like a week before. I'm not sure. It might have been like a week.
Don't
I'm
even
sorry,
know
it's
if
like
it was a
maybe.
week, mate, to be honest, but it was.
But like we should have been like I don't know. We should win all on the same page basically, and it was just a bit annoying. Like that, in my mind, is like if we'd have played like the way I wanted us to play,
Yeah.
like in my head, then we would have won that quite easily because it was like a few sloppy hills from us, and we lost by what 25 points. And no one really had a bad game. It was more like it was one of them games where it's like if you just play cleaner as a team, then you win. It's not that we didn't need any more kills on the map. We didn't need anything else. We just needed to fucking just hold our hills basically. So unfortunate. I mean, like I said, if you'd have told me before that event would have got top 16, I wouldn't have been happy. But I mean, you got to take those like some top 16 start of where it's like it gets a bit stacked. Like obviously you see some names like even like Bance and Steve have both got like top 12, and no one's gonna be happy about that. So
No,
it's not that bad.
I,
But it's like it's a bit unfortunate to be fair to see like Yako and that do so well afterwards. But I mean, if anything, it just shows that we might have been better than I expected at the event. So
yeah, 100%. And I think like if they would have carried on the form that they played you and Clutch Rain and 5 Clan Media, I think they would have generally been there on the Sunday. It's just when they played Houston Spartans, like they weren't there, which
yeah, well,
I think was the case
though,
for most of EU. Like even Team More, I don't know if you saw it, but they looked off the boil that day.
it's just unfortunate. Like that first day was really really long, really long, and it's like if you're in winners, it's a bit easier the next day because you have a bit of a wait or whatever, and you can sleep a bit longer. But like even the second day is always the same. It's just insanely long. Unfortunately, they try and get like I mean sometimes they do. They try and get like the final game of the Challengers event on the main stage now. And they used to before. I mean, when Jed won his event, he won the first best of 5, and they were like, oh well, you're taking too long, so you have to go back downstairs. So they kicked him off. But I just don't think the way they schedule the events is for the best.
No.
So like, it just player health in general. Like you can't like even as we lost and we got top 16, we were playing till 6 p.m. that day, and I was there since 9 because we got told to go there for 9. So if we'd have beat Yako and that, we'd have been playing 2 more games they've won, and then they lost a third.
Yeah.
So it's like they play 3 best of 5s. Like depending on how close they are and how long they are, that's another like what 4 or 5 hours. Like you could be playing till like 11 p.m. from 9. So it's like
Yeah, they were
absolutely insane hours. Like I've done it before in the past where I've won all them games and I've gone to like 3rd place, and it's just like like I don't know how they really honestly expect you to play that many games in a day.
No,
It's pretty bad.
it's
Like,
crazy.
I feel like they should just run the event as its own event, and it's like that way they could schedule the whole thing better, more best of 5s, and it's just like more fair. Like, but I mean, they do what they want to do because they're in charge. So
Yeah, basically. But you're already getting on a tangent with it, right? So let's go to segment 2, the event, because I feel like you've made some great points already. Let's go with thoughts on the venue. Let's start it off nice and soft.
yeah, pretty great. It should have been the venue for the first one. I feel if that was available and they chose the first venue for the last Boston, then honestly, I don't know who's in charge, but you need to stop day drinking. That first one was really bad because there's like, I mean, it's just like I don't know why they ever thought like approved that idea. Like I don't know, maybe it was just because of the prestige of saying oh it was in the Fenway Park. But I mean, who really cares at that point? Like people are inside the venue, like they're not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shouldn't take precedence over a cold room.
No, I agree, and I guess you have the same right of where people like your IRLs, work, whatever, your family, they like, oh, you get to go to Boston, Toronto, or like it must be lovely. And realistically, like you're going to the hotel and then you're going to the venue, like you don't really get all too much time to do everything else. Like
well,
you said,
I'm quite different to a lot of people. Who, like I've not done any touristy things in my life. Like I just don't like it. I don't.
Yeah.
So it's like whenever I go to an event, I'm go to the event for that event. So it's like I don't really care. Like I don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people do it to beat up in that way. It's like that's fine. Like that's just the way people are. But like for me personally, I just go there to compete. It's not like I don't go out drinking or anything. I don't drink. I don't like do anything like that. So it doesn't really interest me. So like it could be a bunch of people that I've literally never met before, and it'd be exactly the same. Like I just go there to compete, play my games, and watch COD. Basically,
Yeah,
it's not like
it's business.
It's not like I'm not having that much. much fun. So it literally could be anywhere. So I don't really care about the locations and stuff, which is why it annoys me more, maybe because I'm a bit more like practical. Like in my mind, it's like you could just run it in the middle of nowhere as long as the venue's good. It's got like everything that people need, and people aren't gonna freeze to death, like or like melt from too much heat or something like that. But it's like that's what should take precedence in my mind.
Oh, I agree. And like, if what's the worst you could say? Oh, there was this great venue, but it wasn't really near anywhere nice. Like over the fact, oh yeah, we played at Fenway Park, but it was an absolute shite event. I know which
Yeah,
one
that's
I'd
the problem.
rather.
I mean, like I think they had some other problems, not just like the venue. Like obviously people like on the door that were manning the doors, leaving them open and stuff, and the
Yeah,
wind. But where we played like most of the games in that first one, it's like in the it's where people go to like get drinks right from the baseball like thing. You walk through like a glass. It's like not even like insulated. It's just like a glass pane. Like they're not, if it's cold outside, it's gonna be cold in there pretty much
yeah.
all the time. Like it's just a bit. In my mind, it makes no sense. And they had to split it up between like 3 floors. I mean, the venue for that first one was just horrible. Like even if it wasn't freezing cold, the venue would have been bad. So yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, the House of Blues, it looked pretty good. Like the only issues probably for me was like I think the stage 16, maybe the one on like the
Yeah,
top right, the aircon
one of them
unit.
was like one of them was under an AC unit. I never played
Yeah,
on it, and I never went near it. So,
it was
but I mean,
bad.
like that's what confuses me as well. Because like as an admin, when you're setting up, like sure that's one thing that you can kind of like notice.
They
And
did.
obviously they don't want to like move us like remove a station, but
No,
I
so
mean if you can't legit hear people while you're playing, that's pretty bad. Like one of the
they couldn't.
stations, the station that we played on for 2 or 3 of our games in a row. When we played like 3 of our losers games in a row on it. Like Twisted was complaining about basically being cold because he was right underneath an AC unit, but it was like we were downstairs, so the AC unit was obviously
Right,
high up in the sky. So it's like it's not blasting him so he can't hear anything, but it's blasting him so he's going cold. And that's like even that can be quite annoying as a player, but
100%.
at least we could hear him and he could hear us. So,
No, you couldn't literally. So 22 Esports played on it like winners round 2, losers round 3, something like that, and like they told me, and I was like, oh, whatever. And they go, no, generally put the headset on, and I couldn't even explain to you, like, replicate how
yeah,
loud
I
it
think I'm
was.
pretty sure one of the admins tweeted out saying like feel bad for whoever's on my station or something as well, like,
Yeah,
which is pretty. When that's happening, that means it's like it is pretty.
bad. And
You're pretty done for.
the admin went to the tournament desk and told them, and the tournament desk didn't do nothing. Like the admin was like telling everyone, she's like, look, I've literally gone down there, they're not doing nothing. Like, I'm so sorry. It's like, well, it's not your fault, but
That's
it's kind of
yeah,
crap, isn't it?
that's like the problem I think. To be honest, is
Yeah,
the fact that I mean, even these like yeah, these problems get brought up and they just don't get fixed in like a timely manner, which is just really. I mean, if anything, it's just unfortunate and disappointing.
it's a shame. It's a real shame. But how do you think the event was ran?
Uh, I mean, pretty badly, obviously. Like, um, if I was someone that lost and lost, like lost my 2 games on the first day, and I had to wait between like each one that much, I would be even more upset because
Yeah,
you're just traveling so far and just the event. I mean, it should never be like that. And like, if they had them problems with the control of the clock, really just puzzles me because they've ran like 12 events on PC. They know how it works now. So I don't really know how that like was even an issue. Like they're the same PCs that they used last year as well. For the other games, I don't know how that's like. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Some of the issues that they have, they kind of baffle me. Like I can say fair enough and put your hands up. Like fair enough if the face it bracket was broken and they couldn't use it and they had to
yeah.
think of a solution on the fly. Fair enough. That's worthy of a delay. But people being told by admins that, oh, we're not going to overclock your controller is outrageous. And then eventually they fixed it, but it shouldn't have taken that long, and it shouldn't have even been like you
No.
can't really work around that. Like you can't like, tell people that they're going to turn with a delay, and then the people that they're playing against might not have a delay. But that's just like insane. So
If they were setting up the stations on the Saturday morning, like before we all got there, then fair enough. But we all saw at check-in on the Friday, or sorry, the Thursday, that
yeah,
that they were there.
I'm pretty sure they set them up on like Thursday, Friday,
Yeah,
which is like
yeah,
because they
Thursday.
kind of have to do because there's so many events that have like updates like happened at the event or like a day before, so they have to do this stuff. So it's like, and I'm pretty sure those PCs just go in a box and just wait until the next event. So like any updates that happen like between that event and the next event don't get done on them PCs. Like in the meantime, they have to set them up and then do them there. So like I said, I mean that's the one thing like hopefully next event if it's in Miami or Toronto for example and they use NPCs they won't have the overclock controller issue. But I don't know how it like where it came from.
I mean,
I mean that's just like hope. I mean hopefully they don't. But
no, it's crazy. And then, so did Revived HQ? Did you get a play on that on the actual main station at any stage?
we played like the opposite side of that station 16 with the AC vent upstairs. We played 2 of our games up there, and then we played on station 1 and then station like 6, I think it
Yeah,
was. So we just
you're
played on
you
like
know.
so we played like one game on station 1, and then we played the rest of all our losers games like, after that on station
On the
like
floor.
6 downstairs, where everyone was like where we did the
Yeah.
game where we did that full sale was the game we played basically like the last 4 games.
Because
We didn't really move around that much.
on that raised platform, so you weren't allowed. You only allowed one coach up there.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed any media, like an org owner, content, whatever. So obviously, like the coach has got to be up there, but like yourselves, like you got Vin up there, but like if your org owner wanted to be there, like he's paid I don't know how much, half funded, full funded, whatever these orgs do for the people. Like if they've done that, surely they should be entitled to a spot up on that stage with them. But it wasn't
I mean,
allowed, and it was wild
I
to
think you're
me.
right, but I think the problem is like when they make like little makeshift stations like that, there is like limits. There actually is like laws, isn't there?
It
Like
was the
health and
fire
the health and
department came in and told them.
because that's the problem. I don't know if did they even need to make it like that. Like do they need to do that? Because
So
there was
no, that was
there
for
is a
one
there is
station.
a there is a stage, right? I mean, because that House of Blues is like a musical a venue, so I'm pretty sure they would have had to do something, but I'm not sure if they had to make what they made. But
Because
maybe they did it for like
they
visuals.
had
I don't know.
94 team passes right at first, and up to 228. How they upped that capacity was because that was meant to be the main area, just for the mainstream. That one, so that was just meant to have one station
Oh,
on
like a
it,
main
and
stage,
then they
yeah.
put 6 on it to allow for the extra tickets, which came with the weight limit that the fire department said. But it was
That's
like,
what like annoys me though, because imagine like if the schedule was a bit better, like they wouldn't have had to like even do that to add more teams. But
yeah, it's you say it's just one big frustration, and like it's just hard. Like, just tell people, and they're like, "Well, can we not go up on that station? Like, we know that's difficult, but like, they don't even want to hear it. They just shut you down like straight away. They're like, "Can we just have one person up there if they get like a media pass? Can we swap them for the coach? If another team hasn't got a coach, can they go up there?" And it's like they just wouldn't work with you. I think that was one of the biggest frustrations with the event. Like, we know they've got a lot to do, but at the same time, it's like without people
I
keep
mean,
investing
yeah.
into it, they're not going to get these teams going. But they just can't see the bigger picture. It's just frustrating.
And the problem with that stuff as well, like the person that you're talking to which probably has not. It's probably just like the guy who said this is the admin that hasn't got a clue. He was sat there like, well, no,
Oh,
I've been told to not let anyone on. So it's like,
it was the tournament host. It was the tournament, the two main people at the tournament there. So there was one admin on that stage that was just an absolute pain in everyone's ass. The rest were lovely. Like the rest would just let you up there. But if you got this one station and we were on it twice, this woman was just an absolute pain. Anyone watching's gonna know. If you know, you know. She was an absolute pain. She's doing her job fair enough, but it's just a nuisance. It's just frustrating, right? But it is what it is. It's only a small complaint. But that was one of the reasons I spoke to that about. Was, do you think like the team passes they need to be reevaluated? Just given 4 players and 1 coach, because like we're seeing coaches, analysts, like org owners go, content people go. Like, do you think there should be an option where you can expand that team pass?
I'm not really sure. I've never really thought about it to be honest. Like
Yeah,
literally never really thought about it because I mean, it's just a struggle to buy Team Pass. So I mean, I just buy and take what I can
yeah,
get. So it's just like I'm in the raffle just to try and get it to my basket. So I know for champs, when we went to champs last year, we don't even get like a coach spot. You had to basically submit a form, like an
yeah,
extra form, basically for like a list of people that wanted to come to the event, like to get access to challenges. Even though that anyone that was basically walking to the champs event could like just basically walk past because we were just in like we were like in the open of like a
yeah,
it was a bit weird, but we had to tell them that Clutch Train wanted to send people. I mean, isn't there a form that you have to fill in for media or something? But it is really awkward for like for challenger events. It's so awkward because like one, I don't even know how it works, and then like, just getting like I swear there's no like quote unquote spectator passes is there for challenges that you can't like buy.
No, and that's half the problem. So they're like, everyone can just get in from the venue from like 9, but then you get there and they're like, oh, the players can come in, coaches can come in, but like, you've got to wait till 10. And then it's like the Saturday, like the lads start the games at 8:30 or whatever, but spectators can't come in till 9 or 9:30. But like, trying to like correlate with the admins that, we're not just general spectators. Like, this is the org owner, this is the media person, whatever. Like, we have 2 coaches. Like, you just
Yeah,
can't
it's a
commute it.
bit.
There's no communication. And like, it's just
I mean,
hard.
the problem with that is like as well, like you can't. They aren't going to be able to make amendments to that sort of thing at the
No.
event. So it's like something that has to be done like
You
now.
need to
But
know
I mean,
before, right? But no one knows before, which is the biggest issue in the
yeah.
current
So
scene.
I mean, if anything, like it's just like if the events were ran like as individual events, then it'd be like a process where you could buy like a spectator pass, for example. I mean, maybe that like helps challenges in the long run as well. Like, if people can actually just go and buy a spectator pass and they'd see like oh, people actually want to attend these events and watch these players because they're bringing in X amount of in-person spectators and they're spending money. But I mean, that's probably an afterthought at this point. I think they run them out of like obligation at this point. If they could
Yeah,
axe challenger events
they would.
and do online only,
Yeah.
do that. If they could boot online only off, they'd probably do that as well. So
You're completely right. It's a
um,
shame. It's a shame to see, but
yeah, I mean maybe it's just a shortcoming from them, but it's just like one of them things I don't think they've ever really considered the fact because I mean as an org, Noctem will be like as one of the rarities where it's like they've got people, but it is quite common for orgs to send one person, so like they'll just take the coach spot, which
yeah,
shouldn't really be how it should be. But it's like they'll just take the coach spot and they'll go in anyway, and they'll just like they won't do a media thing. They'll just do it on the sly, basically.
yeah. I think DevNot
Um,
had the same issue, and I'm going to assume more would have as well. But yeah,
yeah, so
DevNot
like
had a
obviously
real
like
issue getting him.
I think the orgs that have like the people going for them have it as a big issue because they send more than like they have like
Yeah,
3 or 4 people, right? And it's like the orgs that don't really send anyone or just send like the coach and ask the coach to do it like on the side. Like they obviously don't really think about that issue. So it's like
no, it just
the complaints rate are probably few and far between. So they've never really factored it in. So
no, yeah. It's just all communication, right? You just
I
like
mean,
to think
like
be
I've
something.
been to like 7 or 8 challenger events, right? Like for recently for like the CDL challenger events, and I don't even know how you get in as a spectator. Like I have no idea.
You just get in with the normal CDL spectator passes. Any pass will get you in basically, but like there's different like times you can get in, like but they don't tell you that before, do they? Just like doors open at 8 to everyone. Well,
Fair
they
enough.
fucking don't, do they, mate? Um,
Fair enough.
but yeah, and then another wild thing to me, which I guess as a player it wouldn't have really affected you too much, but they were kicking people out the event on like each day before matches had even finished. Like, did you have any issues with that?
I mean, luckily we played our losers game, our winners round 3 game pretty fast, and then well, I say fast, it was like 3 hours wait, and then we lost, and then I basically beelined at the venue, got an Uber, and went to our hotel, and I told my teammates to do the same because we were getting told we have to play at 9 a.m. So I was like, right, well,
Yeah,
if I go back to my hotel now and I get food and it takes an hour, I'm gonna have like, do you know what I mean? I'm still gonna only have like 9 hours till the next like I have to get up and so I was like, right, well, I need to get out of here anyway. So I just kind of like just dipped. So I don't really know. I think the problem with that is like it's just we're issues like bleeding into the schedule, right? So it's like all the delays kind of fucked it.
yeah, but
Everyone involved. I'm not surprised they were kicking people out because they were there. They were planning on playing until quite late, didn't they? And then they changed
yeah,
their mind and cancelled it. And then so they like I was in my hotel room and then I got told that um there was no more games getting played from certain points. It's just like that's why we had to wait the next day. So
yeah. Which is yeah, because a lot of it's going on through the Discord, and I mean, like some of you players out there, like they have no access to like their phone unless they can get on a Wi-Fi or something, and like. We were telling them, they're like, "What? Are you serious?" Like, yes, mate. Like, here it is.
yeah, I mean that's another thing that just never which you would never know about that sort of stuff. So
No, but wild, absolutely wild. But I mean, Boston as a city, I know, like you said, like me, like you're not a huge, tourist attraction kind of guy, but I thought the city it was pretty cool. It was, it smelled of herbal essences for like everywhere I went because it's legal there. But other than that, I thought it was a
yeah,
pretty
it's one of
cool
them.
city. I'd like to go
It's
back.
one of
I don't
them
know about
ones.
you.
I mean, I have no complaints. Like it's one of them ones. Like I've been to. I was at my third Boston event. The first one was in like Foxborough, which is like miles away from everything. And it's like on its own, like in a field, and it's like on its own, like little like has like some restaurants and a stadium, and that's about it. And that was okay. And then even this one, like I have no complaints about the area. Honestly, my only complaint from the first Boston was just the venue being
Yeah.
like just outrageously bad, in my opinion. So yeah. I mean, I don't really care. Like I said, where the events are.
No.
If there's a good venue, the event will be good in my mind. So that's
Okay.
the biggest like defining factor for me. Like people complain a lot when they do like events in certain cities and stuff, but it's like
Yeah,
I
I
mean
don't care.
a lot of people going to these events aren't going to like these insane restaurants and like that. I know that the CDL players might be and some big personalities might be, but I mean most people just go to America, go to the hotel room and Uber Eats fucking McDonald's.
The amount of
People just
players that
don't give a
do,
shit.
it's crazy. But I mean,
People just don't really care. So
would you like to see them host another event? Would you like to see them do it for a third year in a row, or them have a year off?
I think they should do it again if they want to do it
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure as a like hosting challenger events, they have to give up their own money. Like they pay for the prize pool.
yeah,
Like so, if they're willing to do them, they should just do them as many as they can. I mean, if they're getting told that they can't run more than one in a year, in my opinion, that should probably like a negative. Like if they wanted to throw money at it, they should be allowed to. In my eyes.
I don't see a
I mean,
negative to it.
I quite like the fact that the rumor Miami, for example, is not linked to the CDL event directly, right? So I think that would be a good thing. Like if the challenger events were like separated and just different, I feel like it'd have way more room to grow because it wouldn't be under the heel of like the CDL viewership and under the heel of like the CDL stream schedule and all that. I've been saying that since like Black Ops 4. Like I feel like when it was like the CDBL, even the CDBL, like the league and that, I feel like it would have been so much better if they separated them into two
100%.
different types of events and then they ran, even if it was in the same venue, but it's like a week apart, like you said, like or even if it was just like in the same venue and just they just ran them separately, like just let challenges be its own thing and let it grow.
Yeah,
Like
the same entity. I think it'd be completely more beneficial that way for every single party involved in it.
like the one obviously the one upsetting thing that would be that you can't like without that really accelerated schedule, you couldn't put the final on the main stage. But it's like I mean that's like a small thing. It is like
Yeah.
if it was separated and properly and it was like, two different separate times, it could stream the whole thing. Like who knows?
I mean, could keep one team if you had it a week before. You could keep one team at there for an extra week, keep them out there. But then it's a lot of
Like I know there's a lot of
money.
costs associated with running events
Yeah,
like that, but like that's why I just think like like when you see the mainstream when it streams like the final game, like the viewership obviously isn't insane anyway. So it's like
no, yeah,
in my eyes, if they dedicate a proper team to it and try to run the whole event like on its own, I don't know. They need to work something out because obviously they try and run them like in a way where it saves them money, and it makes sense to try and run them at the same time with the same team. But I don't think the real like the admins and that are like even like related. Like CDL admins are completely separate anyway, so it's like
they are.
a lot
Yeah,
of the stuff could just be like, I mean, yeah, just change the week. Like that House of Blues event, for example, that could have been run a week later, and it wouldn't have made any impact on the CDL to
none,
my knowledge.
none
But
at all. It's just they'd have got more money because they'd have got more They would have got more money through like tickets and stuff because you could charge for a completely different ticket. So
yeah, so but like in the past, they have run events like at the Copper Box where they've used like basically the whole arena, which like that obviously would have been
I love that.
if they did that over 2 weeks, that would have been obviously a massive price increase. So it makes sense that they kind of didn't, but
Yeah, but
even then I would have liked it for the schedule to be slightly different. So
when it's in two
if
different
it,
venues like that, like there's no reason why it couldn't have been different
yeah,
times.
when there's no like impact on it, like I feel like it should be definitely ran as its own thing. But
Mm.
I mean, it just depends what they kind of like what venues they select in the future and stuff. We'll just have to see.
We will see. But enough of the past. Segment 3, Noctem Esports. You are officially part of Noctem now after leaving Revive to HQ and joining Resi, Jow and Detain. I mean, how did this happen? I mean, respectfully to your last squad, White under Revived, I mean, you achieved the same placement, but did you see this as an opportunity as a glow up?
I mean, you always got to play with people that you think that are like, as good as you can. So,
Yeah, 100%.
I think just the team dynamic is just like what attracted me to change team more than anything. Like not the individual ability of the players, the team dynamic. Like my old team, we had a lot of issues. Like Keza works full time, so like our time schedules were like different. So like we had to come on earlier and stuff. And like for weeks and weeks, we had issues of trying to get people to come online for me and Kian to like. If we wanted to watch a VOD, for example, we had to be online before we scrimmed. Normally people do it afterwards, and we couldn't for weeks and weeks we were having issues trying to get everyone in the call early and stuff. So I think just stuff like that, like that's what changed my like what not changed, but like that's what
Pushed you.
attracted a change. Like I said, our practice going to that event wasn't great, because of reasons like that. So I mean, I think that's just what pushed me to be honest. Like I said, you're never going to be happy with a top 16, but I feel like we did as well as like I'd accept. If we did any worse than that, I'd probably be upset. But it's like I'll take a top 16. We probably should have
Acceptable.
done better if our practice was better. But I mean, it's one of them ones. Like
I
I'm like
mean,
highly competitive, so it's like I'll never be happy unless I win the event. But it's like I
yeah.
can't be too upset with like what like how it happened. So
You lost to, well, now the first seed in Europe and Team More that everyone thought was the first seed in Europe at the start of the year. So it's like, you
yeah,
lost to,
that's what I'm saying. That we lost in the way like we lost in the fashion that's like acceptable in my mind. Like
yeah.
so I can accept the fact that we lost to like two good teams, regardless of like the outcome of one of the games. Like the one against the Spanish, which we could have won in my opinion. Like I said, there's a lot of factors that go into like preparing for an event, and I wasn't happy with some of them. So
That's fair enough. And, it's why we ask these questions because we wouldn't have an idea on that answer. But I mean, how much How much impact did the fact that you played with all three of these players previously come into the equation when joining Noctem?
I mean, obviously, it comes into it like when talking to people about like future teams or getting given opportunities, right? That's how people progress anywhere. It's like people like they want to make a change. Or, like Wardy was leaving, for example, or like the Wardy change. Like just like they spoke to like I spoke to Jed, like to Tane, about like situations like this, and so it's like I don't know, like if I wasn't like friends with like people in the past, like maybe I would never have even like been like speaking to him about like any potential changes. So it's
Yeah.
like that's how it helps, but it's not like in my mind I was like, right, I'm gonna definitely join this team after this event. Like just like we went to Boston with my other team, we played as well as we could, and then I got basically asked if I would join, and I was like, yeah, like that's like I said to them like I'll play, that's fine. Because like I said, the change in like the team mentality, like in my opinion, like these three people, like I know they'll want to play and want to put in time and want to do all this, like so it's like it makes sense in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Was
and like Jao, for example, like I played with him before and I wanted to play with him again going into this year. And that was probably one of the questions you were going to ask me, but it didn't happen. So, like previous to this year even starting out, I was speaking to Rezi and Detain. So it's like that's probably impacted it a bit because obviously before I was trying to play with them anyway. So
well, you and
happy to
Gel had
basically get on it.
a great end to last year as well. And I mean, Gel at the start of this year was one of the players where you look at a scoreboard and a lot of people were like, "Ah, he's probably the first one off the chopping block." But after seeing him at the event and what he brings to a team and obviously what he can do on the map, like, I think that bloke's incredible. And I'm just
I
saying
mean,
because he's in Noctem, I generally think he's incredible. And I'm guessing like you must have thought that from last year.
like I said, there's a lot that goes into like a team. Like if you have like bad personalities or people that clash, like that causes more impact than a lot of people even realize. They'll just see like, oh, people are dropping like 1.10s or people are dropping 0.7s. It's like there's a lot that goes into people's performance as well. Like I've had to explain to people before in the past that the way you play the map, for example, will bring kills to your team or it will take them away, but and give you deaths. Like if you're especially on these games, if you're running around giving your team bad spawns and doing all sorts of weird stuff, like the game basically puts your team in a blender, like, and you might be able to escape it because you're running around like a psychopath. But say like your ARs or something that are a bit slower, like or people that aren't just like being used to being put in these wild positions, like they're gonna die a lot. Like, and it's like decision making, like stuff like that can, and like even small talk and communication. So there's a lot that goes into the map that doesn't really directly translate to a scoreboard. So
No, 100%. And is that why you think you got picked up? Because I've got here, I mean, you teamed with Rezi and Wardy on the same team in MW19. That's just why I want to specifically ask you this question. Do you think this was the reason you were brought in? Because them two are a very similar play style, whereas with you, it's almost a role change. Someone that will do more of the fundamentals and bring some more of that nitty gritty onto the map.
I mean, maybe potentially. In the past, I had a bit of a bad rap for online performances, to be honest. Where I would play a bit crap online, so that's like changed towards like, the end of last year. I went out my way and changed my net and all that crap. So it's changed a bit. So maybe in the past it would be like, oh well, now just makes the right play. Like now I actually can just like I'm shooting back a bit more online, so
That
it helps
helps.
a bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, my personality wise, like for competing and stuff, maybe the way I look at the game, like I mean, people don't seem to realize, but you kind of need someone that's like opinionated and wants to play a certain way on a team. Otherwise, you kind of just kind of sit there and go in circles, or you don't really change what you do. So maybe that helps. Maybe that helped them like decide to want to play with me again. Like I wanted, like Jed wanted to play with me anyway. I think going into this year, so he knows what I'm like on like in a call like after the game or even like during a match and stuff like that. So maybe that helped, but I'm not really sure to be honest.
No,
Maybe so, maybe not.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's just, I mean, like, Wardy's an incredible player, right? And I don't even know myself what happened on that team. I don't know how the move come about. I don't know if he left, whatever. But for me, him and Rezi are like super high kill AR players, and yourself, like, you still put up the numbers. But after watching you, I've seen like every single thing you do on that mini map is the way that I've seen it, is that it's always for the team's benefit. And I didn't know if that was sort of the reason as to why, you know, Rezi and Wardy, maybe they don't work on the same team, you know, two great players, but not the right dynamic for this game. So that was my question. That was the point I was
Yeah,
trying to get across.
fair enough.
Placements since this four-man has occurred. You've had top 4 in the Esh Hub and a top 16 in the recent cup. Now, what do you honestly think of them placements? Now, I know you're going to say like you want to win everyone, but what is the honest assessment of them placements? Is the most recent one due to being a new team, or is there another reason? What do you think? What's the vibe?
I mean, honestly, I think we should have done potentially better in the first one. I mean, that might have been like a lack of game time together because our hard point was a bit hit and miss again. So we could have easily done better than that first one. We got like third or second or who knows. But I mean, the most recent one's just a bit. I mean, it's just shrouded in drama, I guess. Just the face it switch has just caused a lot of issues for a lot of people. People that, in my opinion, shouldn't be really playing the game at all, like or even allowed to compete in challenges, like as a quote, like challenges, like the whole system. Not even like yeah, I don't really know. I think a lot of people will start requesting monitor cams really soon against every person they don't recognize.
Yeah.
Especially if Face It are like allowing that. So I think that'll be the bare minimum for that platform, to be honest. But um, my biggest complaint for the 2K from that recent cup, honestly, is the fact that the issues that I had, they had so long to fix them, and they weren't really interested.
Yeah, it don't make much sense.
They told me to put in like feedback forms and stuff. I mean, for people that don't know, like basically, one of the people we played against, his old GB account was permanently banned for hacking. Like, whether he was the one that did it or he shared his account, like whatever the story he'll give, like fair enough. But it's like, in my personal opinion, especially if you've been caught with a ban, you shouldn't be able to play. Like, I mean, Faceit probably don't want to ban new users to their site, right, for every game that they've got on there because they play a lot of games on Faceit.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, like they should have done something like. I mean, it's too late now anyway, so it makes a difference. But if in that first 2K you had to link your BattleNet, and obviously BattleNets don't. If you get banned on GB, your BattleNet obviously nothing happens to it. You still play on your same account if you wanted to. Like if my nan made a BattleNet and cheated and got banned on game battles, she still could have played multiplayer. Do you know what I mean? It makes no difference.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, they should have kind of like trap all the hackers and all the people that have been banned on game battles. Said you have to link your BattleNet, and then anyone that was flagged with a ban on game battles should have been banned from COD challenges on Faceit. So that'd have been a good way to do it. But I mean, maybe I'm too smart for the system.
What do we know,
Who
mate?
knows? Who knows? And I don't know if they're ever going to change it either, because
No.
as it stands right now, I'm pretty sure like it doesn't really matter what your pass was. If you were banned for whatever reason, like cheating or booting or anything, you can play on Faceit and theoretically come back and just do it again. Have to get caught all over again. So it's not really ideal precedent to set if that's the way it's going to stand. But
It's
we'll see.
wild because if you're like a brand new CMG comes onto the scene, like you're not going to start importing bans from other wagering websites or other tournament hosts. Like I get that, but if you've come into the scene to specifically buying out another company's spot running a specific event, like why are you not importing their bans? It doesn't.
I mean, that's the
Doesn't
thing that
make
gets me, to be
sense.
honest. That's the thing that annoys me the most about it, because that is that very reason. It's not a random tournament organizer coming in. It's Activision's like outsourced it to Faceit. Like this should have been like one of the first concerns brought up, to be honest, about changing a site is like, right, how do we recognize who's been banned or not? Who's a previous cheater? Should they be allowed to play? And obviously, like, I don't know how it works internally on Faceit or Game Battles or CDL. They're never going to talk about it because they don't want people to know how bad the cheating situation is on COD in challenges or in general. So they're probably never going to address it. Whether anything will change, I don't know. But like I said, have to start requesting monitor cams against anyone that you don't recognize, which is just a sad way to do it. Because if you made a new account on GB and you were banned before, that's another offense. It's like evading the bans just as bad as like during getting banned in the first place. So
No, I mean for sure, and I mean they are learning the FaceMet admins. To be fair, it's got better from the first cup, but the elite quals, which it's the biggest online thing of the year, apart from maybe Champs Qualifier, but it's one of the biggest online tournaments of the year. After this last weekend, which is again concerning, how many people are you think going to be cheating in this elite qual, or do you think you're safe in the top 32
that's the
teams?
thing. That's the thing. You just don't know, because I mean you're never safe, are you? Like realistically, and I know game battles had a lot more whether like because they were linked directly to Activision, because Activision bought game battles, right? They had a lot more account security measures that they could take. So if you report someone on game battles, for example, and they were hacking on a separate BattleNet linked to their like IP address or something that, in my like to my knowledge, they could see that on game battles and they could ban people retroactively. So if you were caught cheating in the past, and now you're playing on game battles on a new account, but there's like some sort of link between you and the banned account. They obviously could know that, but I don't know if FaZe has access to any of this. So it's like it's just like that causes a lot of issues. That
Yeah,
getting banned on game battles was probably the hardest website to get banned on because
100%.
like you said on CMG wager websites, they just do like they have admins like they'll have like people like me that used to play and they'll just watch and they'll just see like they'll decide or they'll do like a quick PC check and they'll just try and decide if you were cheating or not and they'll ban you from based on like basically what could be classed as circumstantial evidence. But if you've been hit by a ban by their automated system, which everyone knows is really crap, like Ricochet sucks fucking cock, like it's crap. It's banned about 12 people in about 5 years. So if you've been banned by Ricochet and game battles know you've been banned by that, you must have been doing something serious. So, fuck no.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if if someone got banned on game battles, every other tournament provider would enforce the ban because they were like, "Fuck me, yeah, this kid was cheating."
You've gone out your way to get banned in that scenario. So.
It's wild, but I mean, if nothing else in this elite quals, I mean, how problematic do you see it being? I can't see it. Like, it's just going to be issue after issue.
I think people are just going to start taking a lot, like, because if they know the admins haven't got their backs, like in our case, for example, like the admins obviously didn't help rectify it. They don't even like responded really to it properly.
No.
People are just going to start like for us, for example, just start requesting monitor cams against everyone you don't recognize. Like anyone out that's at the top like 12 seeds, like you should start like, well, we have like you don't scrim the game. Like we don't really know who you are. Like it's anyone that you don't recognize. You should start asking for streams and cams. And if FaZe are gonna allow that, which I think they should at least, because we're in a very weird situation where like this game's probably the easiest one in history to get away with cheating on because there's no kill cams currently in custom games and stuff like that. So it's like everything basically helps hide in like your gameplay. You don't have to stream, obviously, which I don't think you should ever really have to stream because a lot of people don't have good website like setups and stuff. But it's like if you're suspicious, like, and unfortunately, like on PC COD, you have to be able to prove. You have to be able to prove that you're innocent. So it's like with no kill cams, it's even hard to catch someone cheating. So if someone was blatantly cheating against me in like a private match, unless you're playing like something like maybe S&D is like easy to get away with. So it's like you can't really check. You could go spin button on a Rio and just get 40 kills, and people would be like, "Wow, this guy's cracked." But it's like there's no kill cam to even see what he's doing. It could be aim button, everything. It's just like
no. Do you think, with that said, a lot more teams will try and get a codcaster in?
Probably not.
No, because some are
I think a lot of the reasons that people just don't do the codcaster thing is because they don't want people to see them play. Just in general, like it's not. I don't think a lot of people are trying to hide a lot of stuff. I think.
No,
I think even with a codcaster in the game, for example, because it's one person, there's eight point of views. You could probably get away with cheating anyway. So it's like I don't think that would really negate the issue that much.
I don't think anything's stopped. I don't think there is a deterrent for them, to be honest. If they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat. But we just need some measures to try and catch them.
And that's the problem. Is like people that have been caught in the past cheating shouldn't be allowed to play, in my opinion, because that's like that you said. Because like you said, if people are going to cheat, they're going to cheat regardless. So it's like at the very least, all you can do is keep the ones that you know in the past that have cheated out of the game and try and like reduce the number of people that are cheating in the game. But I mean, there's always going to be cheaters on PC probably, unless Ricochet really steps up its game. But I don't even know if it even works in custom games. I don't know if you can even just you might be able to just blatantly hack against.
I don't know if it works in general, Niall, to be honest with you, mate, because I don't know how they still get away with it in ranked play. But what do I know? Let's get off it. We could go all day, Niall.
That's the problem in my eyes. It's like it used to be a problem on CS, right, where the $10 cheats would work and you could play for a little bit on them. But that's why COD is currently. I think that's the biggest problem. Is like the really cheap, easy to access, Googleable cheats. They just seem to work for too long. And you don't get permabanned. You don't get permabanned on your BattleNet. And I'm pretty sure if you get banned on, say, MW2 last year in ranked play, if you got banned, I'm pretty sure you could log into that BattleNet now, buy MW3, and play MW3 multiplayer without a ban, which makes negative logic. But at least they get you 60 quid, I guess, and just ruin the game for everyone. So
yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. You're gonna keep me going all day on that, but I'm gonna ask you, right? How confident are you heading into the elite quals this weekend?
I mean, obviously, like very confident because it's top 12 seeds. Top 12 teams qualify, so it's like, I mean, if we don't qualify for that, then because there's a loser bracket as well. So say some, like there's always upsets in these tournaments. I mean, touch wood. Hopefully nothing happens to us. No more dramas and stuff. So Like realistically, we should win 2 games and be qualified, which like a lot of teams in the top 8 seeds should do. And then even if you don't, there's a loser bracket, so it's like there's that level of security in elite quals. So
Do you know your
I'm
games yet?
I'm pretty sure as it stands, I don't know who we play first, but the second game is against the same people we
King
played in the
Esports, yeah.
2K.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm not even sure who we play first because the pro point sheets they don't really go beyond like 15th seed during this year. So
it might change actually because Anakin Corp, I saw their roster today has changed a bit, so King Esports
I'm
might
pretty
get pushed
sure
up one.
I'm pretty sure they got the rosters locked yesterday and they released it. I could probably find out who we played the first
They
game.
did
But it's
release
like
it. They did release it. You're right. I just saw that Anakin Corp's roster dismantled. Right.
I think it's BB Connor left, but they replaced him with Linny anyway. So I think that'll be already factored in. So I'm pretty sure we do play the same people in the second round. But the first game I have no idea because, like I said, the pro point sheets aren't that updated. I could go find it and scroll down, but I haven't even like clicked on it. The only time I even looked on the seeding sheet was because they said that Clutch Rain were tied pro points with 2 other teams and they're just not. So I was a bit
Yeah,
confused.
with Dev Not and Team More, they were all on the
Yeah, so I
exact
don't
same
know.
points.
Not really sure how they've done that because they're just not. They've never been tied and they aren't tied right now. So not sure what they're really thinking, but basic classic, I guess. Learn to love it.
Who knows? Who knows? But like, let's look past the elite. We've got a couple more points, and then we're done. We won't keep it too much longer. But we believe you're looking at attending the Katana LAN, and with the current 4-man you've got. Is there a reason for this? Is it mainly LAN practice, or am I completely wrong?
I mean, sounds like you're more clued in than I am. I got asked about it if we make sure. Like, no, I don't think that was even the one that we got told to make sure we're free for. Iski got told that it's a potential that we could go to this event. So, I think it's just one of them things where it's just an event's in the UK. Maybe you want to go to it. So, I mean, if Noctem want me to go to it, I'll go to it. I mean, that was like one of them tournaments where it's like you don't really know how it's going to run.
Yeah.
The prize pool is obviously not really in everyone, is it? So, I personally, as like before, I was never considering going, but like I said, if Noctem want me to go, I will. But there's a lot of like issues with events like that, ran by individuals like this that can happen. So it wasn't something that really like it didn't really reach out to me. I don't think I was really its target demographic. I think it is more for like people that want to compete, like back in the old days where they wouldn't go to America and stuff, because obviously it's a big investment to go to America, especially when you're not a top 8 seed. Like it can be a big investment, and people still want to compete. Like that's the point of challenges, right? Is to play the game for fun. And a lot of people do play the game for fun, but they've got nothing to play in. So
Yeah.
I mean, if we go, we go. That's just because I'll be there because people wanted me to go to the event, so I'll show up. It's in my hometown, so.
Right, fair enough. No, the reason I wasn't really at Noctem specific, it was just that I think DevNot had a ticket and Noctem had a ticket, which has been made like public knowledge since. So like, I don't know what rosters that is, but I know that DevNot was selling their ticket. So I was like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know like who's even supposed to be like going to the event or what. But
yeah, it was more of a case of how you perceive the event. Like for you, would it be beneficial for like practice ahead of Miami, or is it just something that
it kind of depends who goes.
Yeah,
it kind of depends who goes, and like I said, I have no idea what equipment they're supposed to be trying to run this event on. So I have no idea. We'll just see if I show up because it's not. I thought it was way closer to Miami or Toronto. Well, yeah, Miami.
Yeah.
So
no, it's the
it's
beginning
not
of
even
March.
close at all.
It's like
not even close at all. It's like 2 weeks.
Yeah, weekend 1 of March, and then Miami is like weekend 4 or 5,
yeah,
dependent. So
I thought they were like really close together. That's why Steve was selling his ticket, like the Deviant one. But
yeah, because like
I guess not.
I don't know with that. I don't know if like they have a spare one, if they are still going, or like it's just Chinese whispers, right? I mean, we don't really know. Like I heard that first Team War were going to go to it, and then I've heard nothing since. So
yeah, I think like a lot of teams they'll have the same mindset that I have to it, right? But it's like
which
you could go to this event and it could be good, but you could also go. It could be a massive waste of time. It could run really horribly like the Sheffield one did, which was unfortunate because like I said, these events get a lot of interest from players that want to just compete. Like I think there's definitely a space for them, but as a individual tournament organizer, a lot of people don't really have any credibility, and you never really know what you're going to get. So it could go really smooth, and they could be happy, and they could run another one, and it could be good for everyone. But you could go there, and it could literally be the house is on fire meme, like everyone's running around. So
it's risky.
We'll find out.
I guess right that you need. Correct me if I'm wrong. You probably need like 2 or 3 of like the top 8 teams. Be like, yes, I'm going to like entice the other ones because Like if
Yeah,
you went
I
by
mean
yourself and
yeah,
you won it, like you're expected to win it, and then if you don't win it, then it's like, well, fuck, this is a
yeah.
disaster.
And the problem obviously is like when the top like say the top 3 seeds or top 5 seeds all showed up to the event, and it puts off a lot of other people, which is kind of sad because it never used to do that in the past.
No, it's the divisions in these lower leagues, mate.
Exactly. So it's like if you tweeted out, say Katana, and they tweeted out, right, we've got the top 6 seeds, they're 100% locked in, they're going to be at this event, then a lot of people that would potentially buy tickets probably wouldn't anymore, and
Yeah.
then you potentially wouldn't even fill up your bracket. So it's a bit sad, but unfortunately, it's the way it goes. So.
Don't know what they've done to grassroots of COD Niall, mate, but it's not how we used to know it, mate.
I mean, a lot of people just gave up with it and moved on. So that's probably why.
Yeah, true. This is true. But enough of that. Let's one final one. Thoughts on the Miami announcements? Obviously, I know that you're going to want to attend this. Everyone like in the top 8, top 16 is going to want to. But is the plan to attend it? Obviously, the main reason being funding with how close it is. 5 weeks notice they've given us.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the tickets come out on Thursday. So and then hopefully more details from the actual event, like location, dates, and everything, start coming out on Thursday, and then we should hopefully know more. But I mean, like as a player, especially like with our seed and with how the pro points work in champs, you kind of have to go to all these events, right? You're kind of locked in. Once you go to one, you kind of need to go to all. If you especially if you're high up in the seeds, because not even if you're not in the top 4, you want to try and catch up and close the gap.
Yeah.
And it's like, and if you're ahead of people as well, like even if you don't get top 4 seed and auto qualify for champs, you want to be the highest seed you can be for the last chance qualifier to help your seeds, like to help your tournament run. So, I mean, we will want to be going to the event regardless. So, I mean, hopefully it's something that we can do. We do go and we do well. So, and as a competitor, you don't really want to miss out on events. There's nothing more depressing than sat there watching. So,
Yeah, no, 100%. But it just seems wild to me how little time they've
it's
given.
a very fast turnaround. So we'll see what they do because they might like the current thing is that it's going to be like a week later, which could help because it's not as last minute, but it's still last minute. So we'll see.
Problem with that is it's just a bit more
Easter week,
expensive on
yeah,
flights.
Easter weekend, which is makes the flights go up by like what 30-40%. So
Yeah, it's like from 400 to 700, 800 quid I saw. So it's like,
yeah, well,
yeah, there's a conversation for another day.
well,
But
it could even be on the same weekend, which is even sooner, and then it might be slightly cheaper. But we actually have no idea, and we're in the dark. So
we find
I mean,
out.
I mean, they could get complaints about it being on Easter, and they could delay it an extra week because, like we said before, if the events like it's not supposed to be ran in the same venue as the Pro League one because that's a convention center in a completely different place.
Yeah,
So they could change the date and make it even like give you everyone another week, an extra week. We don't know. So we'll have to see on tomorrow,
yeah,
as it stands Thursday when they release the tickets.
yeah.
I mean, regardless, I hope I get a ticket because I've been in the past where me and Detain didn't go to rally on MW2 because we couldn't get a team pass. We wanted to go and wanted to pay our own way to the event, and we literally physically couldn't buy a team pass. And then, as all things are, the bracket wasn't even full. So yeah.
Yeah, is what it is. How many tickets do you? This is actually one lot. This is one that I was guessing. Do you think it will only be at 64 from the look at the venues hosting it and stuff? Not saying they're small, but like,
The rumors venues what like it's right. If you go on their website, it has like they obviously won't use their PCs, but they have like 20, no 40 something PCs in the LAN cafe thing
yeah,
that's supposed to be thing. So that's what
5
12.
stations,
Yeah, so it's
5
like
matches at a time. Because they'll be set up in 5s, won't they, rather than 4s for like other esports, where it's like 5
yeah.
stations a team.
So yeah, so it depends how much space they've got as well. Because like I said, they won't use the LAN cafe PCs. They'll use the challenger ones.
Because if they're drafting other PCs, they're probably going to dismantle theirs and make a whole new setup.
So it depends how much space they actually have,
Yeah.
and they have what is it like 40? You said 40 computers, right? So that's
Yeah.
that's not a lot of like let's say what 10 lots of 4. So that's what like 5 stations right now. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it probably will be a smaller one. So what's the smallest event that's ran? Like
I don't know. I know
Challenger,
that
I
like
swear.
Optic had like a 64. Like a 64 was not. I think Paris was small. Though. Was Paris 32?
Yeah, Paris was small, but that was because it was European only.
Yeah. True. So
And I don't think Paris even had a limit on it. I think you genuinely could have sold more. Well, maybe it did. I can't
I'm not
remember.
sure. Yeah,
I never went to that event, so I have no idea. 'Cause I'm pretty sure Paris is like the only challenger event that's ran as a standalone event and on its own, and it apparently was really good, which
Yep.
is classic. 'Cause I didn't go to it.
But I'd be shocked if it's more than 64.
Probably, yeah. It'd probably be 64 or maybe like get bumped because I think Texas one did get slightly. They sold a few extras, right? They did. It was like 74 teams or something in the bracket like, when it
Yeah,
actually finished.
because 10 teams in the top seeds didn't get a ticket. That was the only reason.
But yeah, so I think they might do something like they did before last year, where the elite teams that qualify for this elite might get asked
I
from
hope
each
so.
region. So there might be a few extras. So it might be like a 70-something team, 76 team bracket, but I doubt it like will be that much bigger than that because of like you said, base.
Yeah, time, like just
I mean,
everything.
like if it's running its own, the time should be better. But I mean, they'll probably still run best of threes until winners round 17, and everyone will be finished by Friday night. So be a classic. And you'd be having Miami weekend to have some fun on the beach.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no, my bank cannot handle that. I don't know about yours, mate, because it don't look cheap. But I mean, that's everything I've got for you today, mate. I hope that wasn't too bad for you. So we're on to guest time. If there's anything you want to talk about during this time, ask me or promote, then fire away. If not, we can just go straight to an outro.
I've got nothing to say really. You should do an outro, to be honest.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter, maybe. You see some salty tweets. My classic. That's what I'm known for. Complaining and crying. So
Well, we're gonna hit up all of Niall's socials and Noctem socials, and we're gonna throw
yeah,
Revives in there as well because obviously we've spoke a lot about them. We're gonna drop all of their socials down below, so please check all of them out. Hit the follows, and Niall, thank you so much for coming on, my man. And that is episode 16 of The Pit done.